Maqbool Fida Husain, A Master in Exile. Produced by Tobin Reese Fine Art. Buying and selling the works of M.F. Husain. In this golden, dreamlike painting, 4 historical figures from the 20th century appear, gathered together on a sidewalk. On the far left, Albert Einstein kneels over his theory of relativity, while next to him, the headless figure of Mahatma Gandhi leans forward on a walking stick. To their right, Chairman Mao appears with a stack of books, including Das Kapital by Karl Marx, as the bent, nude figure of Adolf Hitler, tattooed with a swastika and holding a skull, lets out a scream. What is this painting about? What did the artist who painted it want to say about the 20th century and about each man he depicted? With its odd symbolism, the image raises vexing, hard-to-answer questions. With its confusing mix of myth and commentary, it is a painting that has generated considerable anger and controversy. The painting is the work of M.F. Husain, the most famous Indian painter of the 20th century. His work stirred up so much negative media attention that he was forced to live in exile during the final decade of his life. It was a disappointing end for a much-loved man who was once called India's barefoot Picasso. M.F. Husain was born into a world of loss and transformation. His mother died when he was only 1½, which later led the young artist to explore themes of motherhood in his art. Growing up during the waning years of British rule in India, he witnessed the humiliations of colonialism. Determined to find freedom through art, at 17 he was sleeping on the sidewalks of Bombay and painting mural-sized film posters. Husain's first show in 1934 received harsh reviews from critics, but he sold his first painting for 10 rupees. Supporting himself by working in a toy factory, painting nursery rhymes on furniture, the artist married in 1941. He would go on to father 6 children, including 2 sons who also became painters. In 1947, Husain and several of his friends saw the partition of India and Pakistan as an opportunity for change. Together, they founded the Progressive Artist Group, which was dedicated to bringing modernity to art in India. As the group gained recognition, Husain made politically themed paintings that showed his disdain for Britain's domination of India. After a 1948 award, Husain threatened to quit art to seek greater freedom, but then returned to present a successful show in 1950 that caused a German critic to label him an artist to watch. Inspired by the idea that he could paint India's great religious stories in direct and modern form, his paintings began to depict India's many gods and goddesses, and also stories from its epic poems. Fascinated since an early age by the possibilities of cinema, in 1967 Husain produced and appeared in a film titled Through the Eyes of the Painter, which introduced his art to a wider public.
But now I've tried to tackle the film medium with the feeling of a painter.
In 1971, Husain was invited to exhibit at the prestigious Sao Paulo Biennale alongside 90-year-old Pablo Picasso. He was enormously productive through the 1980s, painting ambitious narratives of Indian mythology and numerous horses and bulls. In a series of Raj paintings, he combined history and satire to make pointed commentaries. When Husain painted Mother Teresa after seeing her in Calcutta, he left her featureless because he found Mother Teresa's presence too great to depict in realistic form. In 1996, after the publication of a magazine article about Hindu art featured one of his symbolic nudes, Bharat Mata, Husain and his art became lightning rods for controversy. Although his nudes of Hindu goddesses had been collected for over 4 decades, Hindu nationalist groups created an outcry that has lasted to this day. Following death threats, the artist moved to Dubai, Qatar, and finally to London, where he died in 2011 at the age of 95. 99% of the Indian people loved me, he said before he died, and they still love me.